You know what's cool? The SEGA Dreamcast. Who doesn't love the Dreamcast? It's thinking, for God's sakes. And the SEGA Dreamcast had some very interesting and genre-breaking games on the system with its limited time here on Earth. You had games like Headhunter and Shenmue, pseudo-open world games that sort of pushed the boundaries of what people thought video games could do. But then came along the PlayStation 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3, and everything else was history after that. But what if Grand Theft Auto 3 had come out on the Dreamcast? Is the Dreamcast even capable of running a game the size and the scope of Grand Theft Auto 3? That's a question that a talented group of hackers decided to tackle to see if they could build Grand Theft Auto 3 for the Sega Dreamcast. An alpha build of this project was just released. I played it on my Sega Dreamcast, and wow, we need to talk about this. I need to show you guys this because this is absolutely amazing. So I'll have a link in the description box down below that will give you some further information on how you can play this on your Sega Dreamcast. But without any further ado, let's just jump into this, man, because it's absolutely going to blow your mind what the Dreamcast is capable of with the right people in hand for this to make games for the Dreamcast. All right, so here is Grand Theft Auto 3 for the Sega Dreamcast. I know that's very bizarre to say, but this is running on a Dreamcast system. I do have my system GDMU modded, meaning that it basically plays disc images on there without needing the actual disc, but there's no additional hardware that is running this. This is strictly just the Dreamcast running this game, and it's absolutely insane. Now, it is in an alpha build right now, so not everything is perfect, but what is here is absolutely worth talking about. You could see some stuff is loading up here. I'm basically going to let the intro cutscene play, and then we'll skip some stuff and get into actual gameplay so you can see how everything looks and performs running on the Dreamcast.
Sorry, babe. I'm an ambitious girl. You're just a small time.
So you can see the audio kind of sometimes gets a little bit too fast and it gets a little bit off kilter with how it is supposed to sound. But the main thing you're going to notice is that with the audio, it is very compressed right now. I do believe that is something that they are indeed working on, but the audio is compressed. There is kind of like a whooshing sound that you hear, like an ambient noise that's kind of annoying as well. But like I said, alpha build. Now, as far as the graphics are concerned, you could see here that this is actually built off of the new version of Grand Theft Auto 3 that came out in the remastered collection. And I mean, I think it looks really good. Obviously, it's a different graphical style than what we saw on the PlayStation 2. But, you know, some people might actually like this more than how it looked on the original hardware. As far as movement is concerned, you could see everything, you know, you move around just fine with the single analog control stick. Now, as far as the VMU is concerned, it shows basically some like frames per second and stuff on there. I hope that potentially in the final build of this game that they can expand upon that. I think it would be cool to have like radio stations on there and maybe like ammunition for your weapon that you have at the time. And yes, you do have all of the radio stations on here. You can turn the radio off and on. We'll be turning it off because, well, I don't want a copyright claim. And as you can see, like the draw distance is pretty good here. You have the multiple camera angles as well, which is pretty crazy when you actually think about it, like how the Dreamcast is able to do this. You know, looking around, you have multiple vehicles, you have pedestrians, and yeah, maybe the pedestrians are cut down a little bit to be running on actual Dreamcast hardware, but still, like, you can go mug someone, you could do whatever you want. I mean, it is Grand Theft Auto 3 in its real form. This isn't, you know, skimped down or cut down content or anything like that. Now, the audio, you'll definitely notice something here. I'll let this play so you can kind of hear it.
This is the place right here. Let's see that. Keep down the place.
Excuse me? A little hard to hear you there, sir. And that is something that, you are going to notice. But like I said, this is an alpha build. This is way beyond a proof of concept. This is showing, hey, this will work on the Dreamcast. And it does work. We got a baseball bat now. Let's just hit the car. Like, why not? I know it's my car, but oh, maybe that doesn't work yet. Maybe that doesn't work yet. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. Now we got to go to Luigi's. No, not that Luigi. We don't want to get put on a list, but you can see like the day and night cycle is intact with this as well. The sun is starting to rise here in the city. We're going to go over here now. We got the pimps on the street. Like, this is just so impressive. It's so impressive that this actually like works, that this is actually a thing, that you can actually play Grand Theft Auto 3 on a Dreamcast, and it looks like way better than it has any right to. I just absolutely love it. Let's beat up this guy a little bit. See, we got the targeting system here. He's probably not a great guy, and you can see it's a little glitchy in the combat. Okay, whatever. It's still being worked on. This is nowhere near a final build, but you can see that the missions themselves are in the game. The content as far as missions are concerned, now we got to pick up some girls. I think this cutscene actually looks really nice, but you can hear the audio is kind of all over the place. Some sort of pop in as well, but everything looks very clean. Even the facial animations for when characters are talking, like, it looks really good, and it looks way better than it has really any right to be looking on a Dreamcast. We'll go ahead and skip this and get into some more gameplay here. But I am thoroughly impressed with this project. Like, look at the lighting and how everything looks. And like, yeah, it's a little bit blurry in the background and stuff like that. But this is a Sega Dreamcast. This is not supposed to be running things like this. We did have games like Headhunter and Shenmue, like I said in the intro, but those games weren't quite at this sort of level for both size and scope and just the amount of things that can happen and the things that need to render. Like, yeah, some of the buildings are redone as far as, the textures are concerned, but this is just an extremely impressive build. This is a very extremely impressive fact. Car damage. Like, my car is getting damaged. You can use A to sort of look around, and the joystick, all of the controls have been mapped to be, telling you how you need to use them on this version of the game, because obviously the Dreamcast does not have a dual analog stick controller yet. Let's hit this jump though. That'll be kind of fun to do. The Dreamcast doesn't have a dual analog stick controller, so you kind of gotta, make do with what you got. Oh god, guy hit me. Well, that went terrible. I'm sorry, Misty. Okay, what are we doing here? All right, get out of the car, Misty. This is not gonna go well for us, dear. Let's go over here. Oh god. Well, yeah. So, you know what? That went perfectly, I feel. I feel like that went perfectly. That's exactly how I would have wanted it to go. Some chaos to show you that everything does indeed work in the world of chaos. I did have the game crash on me once or twice when playing it, so, there are some stability problems with it. Like I said, it is an alpha build, but extremely, extremely impressive, dude. This is just absolutely insane. I will have a link in the description box down below that will tell you basically how to set up everything, how to get this running on your Dreamcast. I'm not sure if it runs on emulators quite yet. I'm not sure if it's just an original hardware thing or if it will run on an emulator, but I definitely recommend playing it on original hardware, because it's just kind of like a what if situation. It's a situation where it's like, well, what if this game ended up coming out on the Dreamcast before the PS2 really got its mojo? Would it help turn the tide as far as, Dreamcast sales and keeping the Dreamcast alive. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We will be following this project, so whenever like a big update or something comes out for it, I will be checking that out for sure. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.